So my dad's an extremely angry man. And, my parents fed off each other with the rage, and my dad discovered Reiki and started healing himself. And I watched him transform, and from the angriest individual I know with the shortest fuse of anyone I know into a kind, caring, loving individual.
All right, welcome in. I'm Jill from Mainely Mystics, and today we're going to talk with Reiki Randy. We met Randy back in I think springtime. Randy's a wicked cool dude, and he knows a lot of spiritual stuff. So I thought Randy and I could have a little conversation, and you guys could get introduced to Randy. Randy does violet flame Reiki. We're going to talk Reiki. We're going to talk aliens. We're going to talk whatever the heck comes up in the conversation. We hope you join us and enjoy us. Now let me introduce Randy. Hey. How's it going?
It's going well.
Good.
You mentioned I do Reiki. I was introduced to Reiki back in 2011. So my dad's was an extremely angry man. And, my parents fed off each other with the rage, and my dad discovered Reiki and started healing himself. And I watched him transform, and from the angriest individual I know with the shortest fuse of anyone I know into a kind, caring, loving individual.
Wow.
And that was with traditional Reiki. This a Sui Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 or 3 years later, we found violet flame Reiki, which I generally specialize in now, and that's mostly good. It's more aimed towards emotional healing and that sort of thing, but it's good for physicality and all that. I've also discovered Arcturian Reiki. And that's from stars, and that you activate chakras way above your head and way below you, and combine them into the center and project that out. And that's a fun one.
Cool. Yes, I love that. There's all these types of Reiki, but if someone said, what is Reiki, Randy? What is Reiki? Well, how would you describe that, just in a little blurb, to see if it's something that like the viewers would be interested in finding out more about, trying it out? You know what I'm saying? How would you describe Reiki, the general idea, not just the specific genres of it?
Energy healing. You turn yourself into a channel for the universal energy to flow through you and into people, things, objects, places, that sort of thing. That's what I can say in a nutshell. Yeah.
So it's like the prana energy that's available to everyone. Yes.
The source creation energy, or source creator.
Yeah, it's like Jesus laid on the hands. A lot of people call it Reiki massage, which is, I don't know about
that. Well, if you're doing it professionally, if you call it Reiki massage, you can charge the insurance companies to cover it with Reiki massage. So, that's one of the reasons they call it that. And, I've met a few, especially when I first started out, my Reiki master, whose name was Tanya Quarterman. She was based out of Auburn, Maine. And she would hold Reiki shares, and like 3 of the Reiki practitioners there were massage therapists who would Reiki people during massage.
I love that. I love that.
It's quite nice. I remember one of I think I was a Reiki 1. I was getting probably my 2nd or 3rd healing session on a massage table. And, you're surrounded by people. You get one person above your head.
Yes.
My legs were open, and then I felt something touch my legs, or someone, I should say. And there's these really large, warm, hot hands, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know who that is." And I turned around, there's nobody there.
Oh my God!
Came in and joined.
I love that.
When I really, really became a believer. Although, when I first started getting attunements, I could feel like the heat and like you feel it flowing through your arms. I remember the first time I did Reiki, and I smoked a little pot when I was like 19 or something like that. And it felt like flamethrowers in my forearms. It was wonderful.
That's awesome. I love that. So you've been doing Reiki for a while, huh?
Yeah, a long time.
That's cool.
Although never really professionally, for a long time, between 2011-ish and probably 2018, 2019. I was doing Reiki every single day, sending it to the planet,
Oh,
to the
nice.
energy
Yeah.
grid, the electromagnetic grid that's around the planet. Want to
Nice.
connect to that and flow a lot of juju into it that way. Then
Cool.
2020 happened, and I kind of stopped doing it for a while, and stressful times.
Oh, yes. Yes. It happens to all of us. I was taught we never lose Reiki. Why do all these people think, oh, well, I did it so long ago, I need to take the class again? They really don't need the class again.
It's all about personal confidence. If you believe you've been disconnected, you are. It's all about intention and thought projection. See,
Right.
we are energy beings, so we have our mental capacity to connect to our energy field, and so whatever you think is true for you. Like, I remember when my dad first started, he forgot or didn't realize how to even turn it on, and all you got to do is think of, say in your head, Reiki on.
Yes. You don't even have to half the time. Like,
Right. You can. Sometimes I'll just start flowing when I'm thinking about helping people or something.
yeah, and it knows. I feel like Reiki energy knows where to go, and it
Oh yeah.
knows, and it alerts you. Especially like when I was a novice and I just started learning all this stuff. I could feel like I was so sensitive. I hadn't learned all the shields and stuff yet, but I could feel someone like my son was hanging out playing magic at this place, and that there was a lot of vets there. So they had a lot of back problems, and so I could feel their problems. Like I wanted to do Reiki on them, and I'm like, what the hell is right? If I go around touching random people, So I didn't, but I felt it. And then sure as heck down the line in conversation, you hear about, I'm suffering with this back thing. I got to get a shot. I got to get a this. And I'm like, see, it's like, you can't deny these things when they come to us, like that feeling you had. It's like, wow, this is real. This is the energy being drawn. It's like he needs the energy, So yeah, Reiki is cool. Like I don't know. I like all the things about Reiki.
Yeah,
I think
when you're empathic with Reiki, a lot of times you'll feel other people's pain. For me, a lot of times it goes down through my root chakra and kind of hits me right in the side of one of my nuts, and it's extremely painful.
Yeah, I don't want.
Hernias are usually the worst.
Yeah, I don't want that stuff in my body.
Yeah,
That's why when you have the raku and you just cut that, let that Shizz go.
Is carry around like black tourmaline, helps negate or absorb that negative energy. I got a little piece here, and
yeah, I got big hunks of it. Yeah, I got a big hunk of it with selenite on it in the room where I used to have you do the Reiki. And yes, I would let people hold it when we did it and stuff. I don't feel like as Reiki practitioners that we even need to own that. But now I might be going to a different extreme. And I still catch myself sometimes feeling things that this does not belong to me. This is not mine. So as a Reiki person, when a practitioner, excuse me, like when I do.
I often say performer, and people are thrown off by that. Like, oh,
yeah,
performer.
I'm just a Reiki person,
Right.
But when I'm doing it, I've gotten to the point where I accept the energy through, and with my own, I have arthritis. So when I'm done doing the session, not only do I not take any of their stuff, I do pull stuff out and I throw it down and I picture it going to the core of Mother Earth. And you have to take that extra minute. I don't care what I look like, okay? I'll be doing Reiki in church for them I don't care what I look like. I'm sending that down. That has to go all the way. They don't want me to leave it there.
You can also
want someone
to the sun.
Yeah, send it where?
To the sun.
That's a good idea too. I don't know why I always keep throwing things down.
Or shine back down as blessings or abundance.
That's genius. I see. This is why I have people like you around.
Do you know how to shield yourself?
Yes, I do. That's what I'm saying though. Like sometimes I don't know what happens where I get opened up, and there was a moment, and I was waking up every day with these emotions that weren't mine, and I had to say, you know what, this really isn't mine. And then when I figured out, I knew whose it was. And then I said what I did. I put a mirror. So not mine, not mine. And I'm not being naughty. I'm just, I don't,
Yeah,
that's not
I
my
like putting up
energy.
mirror shields to reflect
Just
any
back and
bad
back. And
spell work back to people, and you can put amplifiers on those 2 times, 100 times if you want to get real vindictive.
I don't want to be vindictive, but I tell everyone there's a little gray witch in all of us. Watch out who you
Everyone is
piss off.
psychically powerful. That's why the more you focus on something, the more you see. It's like when you learn about a car, and then you suddenly start seeing that car everywhere you go. It's like the cars have always been there, but because now you're aware that certain style of car exists, you're finally noticing it.
Yes, that's how it is. Exactly. So Reiki, for me, the biggest part of it was heal yourself. That's why I think Reiki I think people should give Reiki a try. If you haven't tried Reiki yet, definitely try it, and give it a couple of times. You get a little energy cleanup and see if you can feel like I've had people feel the colors that I'm sending. They feel, and they're like, I saw her all green. And I'm like, yes, I was sending love. I was, and it's like they can feel it. So then they know, and then they're like, hey, I want to learn Reiki, because you don't have to become dependent on us. We love it. We love to offer our services, of course, but also in the meantime, learn how to heal yourself. Get the attunements with Reiki. I think the attunements, that's the second subject I actually wanted to touch on. I think when you get the attunement and you're getting the rite of passage to use the symbols, I think there's a lot of power in the symbol.
Heal people for free. People would oftentimes just end up right back in the situation that they started from, because something given doesn't really have a value to a conscious transfer of energies, because everyone feels like something given is oftentimes valueless.
Right.
And original traditional Reiki went up for lots of very high amounts of money. Like level 2 costed $10,000 for a long time in like the 60s.
Yeah, and there was only a handful of practitioners.
Oh, and Reiki 1's all about self-healing.
Yes.
Like in traditional, you're not even allowed to touch anyone until you get your level 2. But then again, with symbols, symbols are conscious projections. Take level 2, you get access to a symbol called Seiheki, and it's this very long Japanese character. That's this very specific way of doing it. But you know what that Japanese character is? It's just a Japanese word for distance. As an English speaker, you can write the word distance in the air and have the exact same effect, because that's your intention on that symbol. And when you get the Reiki attunement, you get Reiki guides or spirits that assist you and follow you.
Yeah.
When you're communing with your guides, you can reprogram symbols to do what you want for them. Like with Violet Flame, there's 40 plus symbols, and I combined like 5 different symbols into one symbol each to cover a whole bunch of stuff. So whenever I start Reiki, I draw the symbol in it, or a few of symbols, and they've evolved for me over time as I've learned things and incorporate them.
Yeah, I like them because I feel like if they've been used since the beginning, right? So think of whenever I start Reiki, I was taught to open the channel and invite all the Reiki, like tap into all the Reiki masters and all the Reiki practitioners here and before. We can tap into so many generations of them, and then think of the energy that's been put into these symbols. So if I'm not feeling it, we don't always feel it as practitioners. Those symbols are there, and those symbols will do what the Reiki needs done. Do you know what I'm saying? So even if I'm having a bad day and
or if you write it a little bit wrong, it still filters through the.
Oh no, you do like I do them all in the air in my head, and it doesn't matter. If I had to draw those, you would say, "What kindergartner hijacked this piece of paper?" You know, but that's not it. It's intention. You need to know that, you know, and just the words. You got chokere, say hey, hanshaze shonen, and then each level you get a little more. Like level 2, you get the hanshaze shonen. So then you can start distance healing. You can send that out, which is really great. And then when you become a master, my favorite symbol is that raku. Bye, bitch. Cut that stuff out. And it's not even meant badly. It's like, I have given you my energy. You are allowed to keep that healing energy that we shared, but the rest is mine, and you take what's yours. And I think I love flying that way. I love it. Because there's many good intended people, but there's some people, they just carry some dark stuff with them, and they can't leave it here, honey. I've had enough of my own, you know?
There's many people who identify with the negativity and the trauma that they've gone through. And no matter how much you try to heal them, they can't let that go.
No, that's so true. That's so true. And like,
because you can give them all the energy you want until they accept it for themselves. Free will's a thing. And so you don't have to receive the energy that's offered to you.
No, exactly. And they can have blocks to where you can't, you know. So that's, I mean, what are you going to do? Don't send negative energy, though. I think all positive energy sent in the world is good. The collective.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think there's no harm if it makes if the best you can do for another human is just send a little, but you can't keep sending it. Yeah, you can't keep throwing pearls to swine, right? Isn't that what Jesus says? Yeah. So we think that's big in 2025. We're in a 9-year, and it's amazing because we're coming into, here I go on my little thing, but we're coming into the age of Aquarius. We should be on the precipice, and it's still new. It's still happening. And the what is it? Pluto came into Aquarius for the first time in God knows how long,
like
right?
270 something years.
And it's not going to happen again in any of our lifetimes. And this is like a little graduation from moving into the age of Aquarius.
And we'll be there for another 10,000 years. What was it? 1,000 years?
What, that it's going to be?
It
won't be. Yeah, it won't
the age
be
of Aquarius.
Yeah, that's what
it moves on to the next age.
Yeah, exactly. So but I think we're coming into that age where it's humanitarianism. We're supposed to be going from the me era to the we era, right? But I think
we're going through a fire sign and a very combative, very aggressive sort of filter of the energy. Because the energy it's kind of like energetic weather around you, and it's just the general vibration of the planet and the space around it, while it travels through the around the galactic center. And there's variations in all the energy, and depending on placements and stars. Like picture it like neurons. If you see a map of neurons of the brain, imagine each neuron as a star, and then the energy travels between stars. And that's why you get different emotional seasons with the astrology signs, because those constellations, they all have energy that flows between them, and then it connects to the planet. And then as the planet's rotating through that section of that energy, it brings out aspects. And like Virgo is very sensitive, or Aries is aggressive.
Yes, they
and Scorpio is powerful, and it brings back energy for maximum impact. And God forbid if you've made them angry.
They can. I'll shut up. I'm just referring to my placement. Nobody else.
Exactly.
We didn't want to offend any
tell people we have the exact same sun, moon, and rising placements. We're both Virgo, Cancer with Scorpio rising.
Yes.
But you're the first one of those I've met.
I know you are too. Like, I actually met someone born on the same exact day as me. And we did not make a good couple. So what does that say about me? I don't know, but
well, partners are oftentimes reflections, or we see in our partners the things that we don't like in ourselves. And it also depends on the partners and how they project energy themselves.
That's true. But you're very good. You have the good placements. And you're good, and you were born in that same year as me. It's probably just, a Gen Xer thing. I don't know. I guess I'm not a cup of tea to be with always anyway, so we won't even talk about that. So I had to look in that mirror.
Everyone has their ups and downs and their aggressions.
I had to look in that mirror. That's what happens. We get these people and we're like, what the hell? And then I'm like, wait a minute. I believe in astrology. Like, I believe our birth charts are like a blueprint for us. It's what you do with it. It's how you use it. It's like looking at the weather. What are you going to do? What is the energy saying? It's what you have free will. What are the probabilities in favor of? Do you want to flow with it, or do you want to go against the tide? You're here for your journey. You make your choices. But hey, that's what I think. So, but I think it's pretty cool that I met you and that we have those placements. So automatically, I call you my soul brother. That's just, what are the chances, right? We've been to war together past life.
Yeah, and I was born in 92.
We won't talk about when I was born. Shut up. Were you waiting for that? Because that wasn't coming. No, I'm not ashamed of my age. I was born in 73.
That's not even that long ago.
No, but my daughter was born in 93, so you're just 1 year older than her. See? That makes it interesting, though.
Yeah.
Yes,
and people born on the same day don't necessarily have the same astrology symbols, because all that changes every couple hours.
My theory is he was born at some cuss word time, and that's why he's such a poop cat. He missed all the good placements. That's it. And I don't even know. I don't even know what it is. But
there are really no bad or good placements. It's just how you are wired, and it's a matter of learning how to positively deal with that wiring. Like, for example, in the 12 astrology symbols, or the 12 planets, the planet Mars within your chart is your planet of aggression. And my Mars is in Gemini, which is very wishy-washy, can be very aggressive or very, very smooth. And when you have control of that, it makes you very adaptable to changing circumstances. And then when you're not in tune with that, it's kind of just flip-flopping of angry, happy, angry, happy, angry, happy.
Don't you think that each sign has positives and then negative traits? Like, if people are vibrating at a lower level,
then it brings out the more negative trait of that sign.
Yeah. Do you understand? Like, the shadow side of the sign. So it's not like all Virgos are going to be neat and organized, because there is a shadow side to Virgo where But
there's also
some people dwell in the shadow.
With Virgo, like, you can be organized, but you can be disorganized in your organization. So you have a big old pile of crap, but you know where everything is in that pile.
It's your organized chaos. It's your organized chaos.
Exactly.
That's what Virgos call it. Don't question that.
Back to programming. So time is an illusion. So everything's happening all at once, including your past lifetimes and future lifetimes, higher selves and lower selves. And, the great creator spirit, some people call God, or you can call it whatever you want. But it's the source of everything. It was bored, and then it broke itself into an infinite number of pieces, and they all started arguing about what the meaning of life is.
That's a good one, actually.
It is. Well, it's true.
I'm writing this one down.
Go ahead. and that's true for living things, the material realm. Like, once you get down into quantum everything, matter is energy condensed in a certain vibration. So we're typically living in a hologram. And you know what that means? It means that the great creator spirit source is you taking little pieces of itself, throwing them in a video game, and then you take that video game and you do what you can with it. And we call it life.
Why can I just change the thing?
Default setting.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I hear this analogy over and over and over, and I almost grasped it. I grasped the whole time thing. I see a big circle with a dot in the middle. And the dot is where God is. God, creator, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call the great divine people, is in the center. And I'm on the outside walking around the outer circle, okay? So how do I get a good view of, if I'm at 11 o'clock on the outside, I can only see a couple other times, right? So how am I going to be able to see all these times? I'm going to go within to the center. And then I have this 360 view. And then I can tap into that timeline, that timeline, that timeline. So it is happening because it is accessible. I get it. So if we're a video game, sometimes I get sick of a video game, so I take it out and I put a new one in. Yeah, that hasn't worked at this game right now. I don't know what the hell the Nintendos used to blow in and get the dust out. I've tried everything. It hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to stay tuned to figure this out. Anyway, I'm on it because I get it, and I get it to a certain point, and then my brain says, well, dip, and then if I can do this, then why can't I do that? And I get all like excited when you're in the video game and you're like, I got to get some cheats because I'm going to be a millionaire. Yeah, that's me. I look for the, so that's all. I, you can see I'm still working on the philosophy around this and trying to wrap my head. It can bend your brain into a pretzel when you try to,
yes,
you start thinking, and then it's like, well, wait a minute. Actually, though, from what I've experienced thus far, which is very limited, but I find the more you go within to that center, and we were all guilty of falling off that wagon.
Oh, of course.
But we have so much, we can tap into so many other parts of ourselves that brought us to where we are today. Not just to live in other lives or to go forth. We get a better perspective on the probabilities coming in our energy fields for the future. So that is like the best. It's just a great way to do things. So it does coincide with your analogy that all this is happening, and time is not linear. Time is something we've concocted over here. You talk to any near-deather, and they did all this stuff in like 2 minutes. Over here it was 2 minutes, but over there, their time was not a thing. So it's just wild. But I'm still trying to figure out the trick to switch from this game.
Difference in perception. You describe time as the dot and then the circle. So for me, instead of viewing it like that, I view it in a different way. So the dot is actually a tube for me, and then from the tube is like a big magnetic field around that, and then I'm on the magnetic field. So it's different. It's like a 90 degree variation on the way you view it, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a difference in perception. And connecting to the divine, I learned a meditative technique that is said to be the technique used by the being we call Jesus, even though when he was incarnated, that wasn't his name. And that's visioning a lamp within your heart chakra, and then you got a little door on this little egg-shaped brass lamp, and inside the lamp, the brightest light you've ever seen spilling out, and then you open the little door on the lamp, and then you go inside the lamp, and that's where you meet the creator spirit.
Ooh.
And that's one of the more effective ones for me. And of course, ground your energy, or some people call it earthing, because what, you're trying to ground me? Like, what did I do to you? It's like most people imagine roots going into the ground, but it can be anything. When I first started, my dad was a steel worker, so I always envisioned rebar going out of my feet and down into the ground.
Yeah, there you
going
go.
all the way to the core of the planet and wrapping around the core, and then running the energy from the core of the planet up into yourself. And then, and then I developed a technique after a few years of connecting to the planet, and then connecting to the creator spirit with the heart chakra, and then connecting those two in the creative forces together of divine masculine and divine feminine, because you know the creator spirit is generally a masculine figure. Well, it's more not, it's the male and female, it's both,
Right.
and but the creator energy has to interact with the planetary energy to create life, and so you combine those together for a more powerful energy connection.
Meditation is very helpful for you too.
Like I recently spent a couple months not meditating because I had some drama go down. I kind of fell off the path, and once I started meditating and doing chakra cleanses again, I have felt great improvements in life. Once again.
Isn't it? Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, I'm off. I gotta get back on the wagon. You know.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, we are here. I mean, I do meditate, but not as. I guess meditation's kind of addictive too. Like I like it. So I do it at least once a day, but I would like to do it like one more time more intentionally, or try to integrate some form of meditation in the morning.
I try to do it when I first wake up, and then again right before bed. But sometimes you miss out. With doing Reiki, that I usually activate Reiki, then I begin a meditation, and I usually call on my primary spirit animal, because you have like the power animal you were born with. For me, that's a white tiger, and then throughout lifetime, you can call on other spiritual animals to empower you. When I was 4 or 5, I was watching Dances with Wolves, and I started calling on the Katanka, or a bison, the buffalo.
Wow.
And, you know, when I do physical labor, I call on that to get
yes.
And then there's another aspect of spirit animals, and you know, when you're going through something and one of these animals cross your path in the physical world, that's another type of spirit animal. So it's like totem animals, power animals, spirit animals. And people say like, that's my spirit animal, or unicorn's my spirit animal, or whatever, but that's due to a general misunderstanding. Everyone likes to make fun of it too.
No, spirit animals are good. When I started meditating, I had my spirit animal with me more frequently. Yeah.
You don't need to know what your spirit animal is, and usually it's generally people's most favorite animal. Like, it's your favorite animal for a reason. A fun way whenever you're activating Reiki or energy or meditation, like I always say, your teeth are my teeth, your claws are my claws, your bones are my bones. Like, I'm saying it right now, and I'm starting to get the connection and synchronization of it. And so you start to feel tingly in those areas, and it connects.
Yes. Reiki is good. Reiki is powerful.
And Reiki's just a Japanese word for life energy anyway.
Yes. But it's good. Healing is real. But the person being healed has to want to be healed. Is the secret to it.
Law of consent.
Some people don't want to. They like to say they do.
Some people identify with their physical pain, and they don't want you healing because that's part of who they are.
That's true.
I've met multiple people multiple guys with severe back pain. It's like, oh no, I don't want you doing anything to that. And then they're taking morphine for their fucking back pain.
That's awful. No, pain is awful. Living with chronic pain, no thank you. That's a challenge to anyone's spiritual growth, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Reiki does, like, in my experience, I mean, I believe in healing, I believe in miracles, I believe in all that, but I do believe in natural law too, and there's things.
And karmic law.
Yeah, and karmic law too. The laws
Some people
of the
don't
universe.
or can't be healed because they're paying back a certain amount of karma in that lifetime for whatever issue they have.
Exactly. And then I have natural law. I was rough on my joints, so now my joints are mad at me, and it's okay. But that's natural law. But Reiki gives me not just receiving it, but doing Reiki I get relief from pain in that way. It's not a permanent relief, but it's a real pain reliever. It brings calm and it relieves the pain. So I think Reiki does. I mean, it's just not, it doesn't last 8 to 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? But I think Reiki is good for that in that sense too.
You can find a powder substance called MSN or MSM, and it's you add it to food, and it's incredibly bitter, but it's composed of all the ingredients that your joints are made out of. So when you put that in your food, it helps rebuild all those stuff. I learned about that, I think it was 2011, 2012.
Nice.
And this old dude who was getting into Reiki, and he kept bees and all sorts of stuff. I think he called himself Tahoe. And he went from not being able to hold things anymore to being able to do curls with 20-pound weights.
Oh, wow. Huh? Look at that. I love that.
Might be something you want to check out.
Oh, hell yeah. I found out there's a boxing thing you can put on the wall, and it's almost like that. It's like a Simon Says. Do you know Simon? I know that's after your generation. Of course.
We know. Right. I'm not that young.
It's like a Simon Says where, and it plays music and lights up where you got to punch. I said, oh, I want to do that. Sounds like fun. I need to get my joints going so I can do some fun exercise, right? But Reiki is good for pain. It is good for pain, and it is good relaxation. It's huge, especially for people with anxiety, right? Mm-hmm. Depression. We were talking before we started about the energy centers, and if we get those spinning, we're all made up of energy. Go look up physics, people. Get with the program. We are energy, okay? And we have main energy centers running through the middle of us, and those get clogged up and blocked up, and you can get those spinning again. Get tuned in, tapped in, get your stuff moving along. There's some things we don't need to suffer from. Reiki's great for accelerating that and getting you going, right, Randy?
Absolutely. You open up a chakra. There are many techniques for opening up, and you are God of your own body and your own little perception of the universe. So take, for example, your third eye. Some people tap to open. Some people do clockwise or counterclockwise, or put a zipper on there. I've tried all different techniques, so they all work. You just got to be consistent with it.
Yeah, and you can feel the third eye when it's open.
Oh yeah, I've been in mine. I can feel it right now.
The crown chakra is another one I feel a lot of when I get really into my spiritual groove. But yeah.
Yeah, your hair is an extension of your nervous system. It helps integrate within the aura around you. Like they did an experiment during Vietnam, and so they were taking Native American men who are great at tracking and finding things, and they were bringing them into boot camp, and then they would shave their heads, and all of a sudden they can't track anymore. They don't know what the fuck's going on around them, and so they started doing an experiment where they let them keep their hair, and they kept their tracking ability.
Oh my goodness, huh?
And so for me, like I've lost a fair bit of hair, and so I just cut it off, but I still try to keep some amount of hair on me to help integrate within the auric field. And this is another reason why women in general tend to be more energetically connected, more sensitive to the energy around them, because they usually have longer hair.
This is why I cut all my hair, because you can keep your damn energy. I got my own, and I'm sick of it. And that's the truth. I notice it. If it grows out a little, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're more reactive to all the stuff around.
Yeah, I want it gone. I don't want to be tapped into something.
A good way to protect yourself, especially when you have longer hair, is to create an egg of white light around you, or a sphere. Or I used to do a telephone box. Even younger people even have any idea what a telephone box is. 4 walls, and then I'd start, or a big square over my head, and then I'd move the square down and then coat my entire body down past my feet. It's chromed on the outside, reflective. And then you put up your intentional shield of,
Mm-hmm.
say, someone sending you bad juju, and then you can put that shield up to either deflect it, send it to the sun, send it back to the user or the person
Mm-hmm.
sending you the bad juju energy.
Yeah, so all right, so now we're going to go in this direction. If you return to sender, all right, so there's all right, I'm a human. There's times where you just feel like back at you 10 times or whatever, okay? But then as a light worker, as an energy worker, we're supposed to take it and transform it in the light for the highest and best good and return to the person with love and light. These are the battles. This is the 616 on my channel here. This is finding harmony with the spiritual realm and the earthly realm. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's
Yes.
yeah, that's
But
we're
you
in a
also don't have
big.
to put up with continuous attacks. When someone attacks you, that then opens up the window for you to attack them back, and that's the karmic law of consent, because you're not allowed to attack someone, but if you're attacked, you're allowed to defend yourself. And the mirror shield is a good way to do that. It's where you just set it up and just let it roll.
Yeah, whatever happens is on them. Yeah,
Exactly. They
exactly.
initiated the attack.
Exactly. That's how I always like you create your own karma. I'm not interested in any ties. So yeah, that's what I try to do. But it is
A
something that
moral
gets
quandary.
yes, it does. I am very candid and I don't deny that sometimes I want to just return to sender, gets away from me, put the mirrors up, the disco balls, the mirrors. I have mirrors on every corner of my house. I'm into protecting my energy, and if you send something, if you're foolish enough to send something at me, well, and I want to be a love and light worker, and I am. There's that part of me that's very love and light, but at the same time, protection is the thing. And who the heck are you to start sending shade my way? Come on,
Right.
right? Don't you agree with that sense?
Absolutely.
And I'd rather deal with someone who was candid, who said, "No, I'm not going to take unnecessary. What would you call it that they throw at
Shit.
us?" Yeah. Yeah,
Unnecessary crap.
yeah, and it's not for me. And that's what I was saying before is it's 2025. We're coming into a 9 year. We're going to let that Shizz go this year. We're letting go of the stuff. We're coming up to a lot of letting people go too. Like it's big. It's big. Some people are vibrating out of our energy, or us out of theirs, or whatever it is. But there's no more take from me. It feels to me in my energy, it's a very you water me, I'll water you year. And I don't mean it selfishly at all. It's just like I need to move on next, not in a cold-hearted way. And that's a hard way to be and integrated into all this spiritual stuff. And do you know what I'm saying about all that?
I do.
We'll see how this year plays out, and hopefully love and light wins every time, right? But this is our year too. This is the Hermit card. And we are the Hermit. And like you were saying, that meditation you mentioned, go within to the light. What does the Hermit do? The Hermit goes up to the mountain alone, goes within and finds his light and brings it out to the world to illuminate the darkness. So you're right on point with that meditation. That's a great meditation for this year.
It absolutely is. And there are many cycles coming to fruition in this year. People are ascending at great rates. At this moment in time, the whole planet is being upgraded in energy. The energy is coming from the sun help upgrade it. The consciousness level of the people on the planet integrate with that. People interact with the electromagnetic field of the planet and that emits its own electromagnetic signal that you, your electromagnetic aura that surrounds you at all times, connects with. And people who raise their vibration within the field then also feeds into the raising of the vibration of the planet itself as well.
Yeah, the collective consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are the ETs, the aliens. They have many people who are native are generally incarnate as one species are choosing to incarnate as humans to help this whole thing along. And that's where you get the whole concept of starseeds.
Yeah, there's a lot of star seeds on the
Yeah, that's
planet.
like 20% of people. We all know starseeds.
Mm-hmm. The only planet we've been on.
Ooh.
No. But I'll tell you what, I think some of the star seeds regret taking the mission. That's all I'm going to
Oh,
say.
yeah. Well, Earth is the most negative planet in our galaxy.
It's the
So it's like,
densest,
so
heaviest,
think of
yuckiest.
negativity or planets as vibrations. And so the lower the vibration, the harder it is to move and exist. So Earth has the lowest vibration out of all the other planets within our galaxy. Like most planets don't even evolve predator species because they just don't vibrate at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Earth, with its low vibration, it's a lot to deal with. So the more you deal with, the stronger you become. So we're kind of like MIT of soul learning within the galaxy. So if you want to learn some shit real fast the hard way, you come to Earth, or Terra, as her technical name is.
It's for the badass souls.
And if you're not, you will be when she's done.
It is. It's the school of hard knocks for the spirit people.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the
my
perfect way to say it.
Lord.
Right.
And I'm trying to change the damn video game over here, and I haven't found the switch. But hey, here we are.
Hey, you're making all the right steps.
Yes, we gotta keep growing. And that's like you were talking about. We have the great awakening happening. People call it woo-woo crazy stuff. But let me tell you what, you're gonna remember when you awaken, if you have not awakened, it's this archaic system is crumbling. It's all connected. That the yugas,
as it crumbles, we have the opportunity to build new systems on top of it.
Yeah, yeah, it comes
Everyone's
back.
always like, "Oh, it's the end of the world, end of the world." It's a vibrational change of the system.
Yes, and we're going into a golden era too. So I mean, and right before that, there's always crumble, crumble. But people are going to start waking up because the government is a mess. It's an archaic system. The school system was that kids in America are going to was invented for somewhere for the slaves' kids to go and learn something while the slaves
The last
work.
time it was
And
really
it's still like
it
this.
was when Rockefeller did it in 1924 or something like that. And so he didn't want independent thinkers. He wanted workers to work the system. So that's why schools all sit down, shut up, and do what we say. Because they want you to get out in the world, sit down, shut up, and do what they say.
But that
Play in their
system,
system by their rules.
yeah, that system's crumbling. All of that. That's the Hierophant
An
cut, and that
ideal
comes up.
system would be one where, at a young age, you just have a broad curriculum that focuses on identifying that individual's strong suits, and then you have a custom program through up until adulthood that emphasizes learning what your strengths are and perfecting them.
I think children need to have play. They need to
Oh, yeah.
express themselves. They don't need to be.
Play is essential, even for adults.
Oh God, yeah. I'm just a kid from Salem, Mass, dude. I don't identify as an adult. Yeah. No,
The
no,
older I
no.
get, the less I feel like an adult, honestly.
Yeah, we're just kids stuck in these meat suits that keep rotting away.
I love how you say meat suit. I love the term meat suit. You're a light ball crammed into a meat suit and you puppet it around.
That's what it is. And sometimes we identify with this meat suit and it's like, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong. Oh, this trauma, that, you know what? It's just the residual from carrying this thing through whatever the hell it was. And that comes to, you made a point at one point about people getting stuck. Well, you didn't say stuck on stupid. That's my thing. But people do get stuck on stupid on their trauma shit. And I'm one of those people too. Now you got to go through life.
I have my own traumas I over-identify with.
Yeah, but we go through.
Myself, I keep perpetuating that.
Yeah, but we gotta let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Not lightly, but you gotta see what there's more to it than that, I think. I think
you have to look at the lesson that trauma is trying to teach you.
Yeah, I got the freaking lesson, baby. Okay.
And then
you can get the lesson,
integrating it into your life.
So what I think is there's going to be residual from the trauma, depending on the levels, that's a whole nother podcast, CPTSD versus PTSD and the spiritual world. And how can that help? I think Reiki can help with things like PTSD.
It can.
Yes, meditation. We mentioned meditation, sound healing, sound bathing. What else is there? There's so much in the spiritual world that can be offered to help people heal those parts, but we all I don't think any of us get out of this wartime like this. We're moving up, the world's changing, people are awakening, but we're also coming from this integrated, what is it, karma, friggin', how many lifetimes of war is in us right now? Do you know what I'm saying? This is a huge shaking and moving that's trying to come in and go through. And that is the point of us. This is the point of us. You know what I mean? And we're here saying, hey, we get it. We've been through this dark night of the soul thing, right? Which is your initiation.
That's your world crumbling around you and you reaching rock bottom and reconstructing, searching through every little aspect of yourself.
And it's usually brought on by something outside. But what's happening now, like you were saying, people are ascending. So maybe there's a different avenue. But what's going to happen is as this stuff crumbles and shakes and people are going to be falling out like the Tower card, they're going to be looking for people and who knows what and how can you guide this? And this is where we're starting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, in the coming years, light workers will help guide the masses as they wake up.
The biggest thing is, my thing is to help people find the light within them. And to understand that they have free will and that nobody's here to tell them what to do or not to do with it. But there are probabilities and there are roadmaps that can help you take a peek into it. And why not take a little peeky peek and then make the decision for yourself, an informed decision, And then there's modalities that heal, and there's other ways that we can heal from the programming that we've endured for all this time. And now we're awake, and it is like a rebirth. It's not always pleasant. That's where Reiki will come and calm you. Sound bowls will soothe you. You need a little guidance.
It vibrates the energy centers of the body and helps you reintegrate with your soul and body form together. It also comes into human design. Human design was channeled by a guy in the 1987 during a supernova that happened, and the energy of the supernova hit Earth, and then Earth had this big crystal formation that channeled that up through where this guy was living, and then he was downloaded a massive amount of information about the energies, how things are evolving. So, for example, in the late 1700s, humanity found out about the latest planet, and because in our solar system, and because of our awareness of it, then the humans themselves began to evolve. And 250 years is just a breath, an intake.
Oh my God.
It's nothing. In the grand scheme of the cosmos, And so we haven't even finished evolving from that evolutionary energy up until 2027. And then the whole human race, every being that will be born from there will be an entirely new type of human being. Like, we have energy centers that operate on this new system we're evolving to, but those of us who have been born before then, everyone in existence at this moment,
right,
aren't quite synced up to that yet. And the energies that this individual he renamed himself Ra Uru Hu, they called the new human a rave, R-A-V-E. So instead of being a human, it is now a rave.
What is that?
Not sure. We'll figure that out once we get there. And I don't plan on having children until 2027.
A lot of people your age
don't have kids.
Yeah, it seems to be like
Well, we were told if you can't take care of them, don't have them. So we listened and didn't.
Yes, your
And then they
generation
blamed us
is
for Toys R
clever.
Us closing.
Dude, Toys R Us was the shiz. That's all I gotta
Never
say.
went.
Oh my Lord. This is neglect. Where is your mother? Neglect. You will go. We gotta find one. Shoot, there's only the little Macy's one. Oh,
right.
what kind of childhood was this? Yeah, so I'm off the track. I'm in Toys R Us now. Where we oh, so with the rave human, right? What else can we do? So we talked about Reiki. We introduced Reiki. We talked about how important meditation is. We talked about the awakening. And then how most people are going to go through it. If you're watching this, you've probably already been through it.
Right. If you stumbled upon it, you've already been through some searches and some answers. We also touched on some alien stuff.
We got the aliens, the starseeds. We touched on the starseeds. We got the chakras. We touched on Reiki symbols. So we have had a successful Virgo to Virgo spiritual conversation. But now I'm going to learn a couple questions that I'm going to ask everybody, but we're going to feel it out first. Okay. So I have a couple questions that I want to ask you that came up during the thing. And then I'm going to ask you how people can get in touch with you. And we're going to go, why don't we first go over real quick, like what you're going to, you have a YouTube guy. Oh my God, I'm such a kid from Salem. You have a YouTube. You have a YouTube channel, and you have a that's okay.
A Facebook.
Yeah, and a Facebook. So we're gonna put that. Those links will be in the description so people can find you. Okay.
All right.
And what on your channel you're gonna offer distance Reiki healing, right? Videos.
Yeah, I do
that out. Yes.
free distance Reiki healings on my channel. I'm trying to do at least one video a week consistently.
That's awesome. I've stumbled across these and they're really good. We've watched them in the living room. I love that stuff. So that's a wonderful thing to offer out there. And then you're also, are you available yet for doing some maybe distance Reiki, video Reiki?
Yeah, you can schedule a Reiki healing session with me. Where I'll send, make the energy ball and send it to you.
Nice. And they'll be able to find that information on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Awesomeness. All right. So I have a couple questions. So to you, dear Randy, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life?
To experience adversity and to grow from it.
Very cool. And to you, what or who is God?
Everything, everyone, every little stone, every little animal, every plant, every being, every star, every extraterrestrial that exists there, everything is God. You can't separate God and life because life equals God.
Amen, brother.
Or the great commandment, as I like to call it.
So if you have one little spiritual tip to leave the viewers with, what would it be?
We're always caught up in reactionary statements. Take a step back, take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be for long, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And take in all that, whatever you're feeling, the pain, the trauma, the anger, the hate, the rage, hold it there and feel it as you're holding your breath, and then push it out of you to help get rid of it.
Amen. Great advice.
And with the breath, because that's how you help connect with that. Because a lot of people have no idea how to let things go, and it just builds and cycles and builds and cycles and starts bouncing around. They start freaking out, and it goes. And then you got to take a step back, reset.
That is, breath work is, oh my God, yes. breath work is a huge subject that we're going to have to talk about sometime, because it's powerful healing with breath
And there's
work.
a gland in the center of your skull called the pineal gland, the shape like breath work helps activate that. And it's all in especially in Western cultures or even Eastern cultures, there's so many chemicals in our foods and in the environment, in our clothes, that seep into our bodies, that leach in and cloud
Calcify
calcify the gland. Fluoride's one of them.
Fluoride's huge. It's in our toothpaste and our water.
It's a byproduct of aluminum manufacturing. So back in the 40s, after World War II, they expanded aluminum production for aircraft and all sorts of things, and they were just dumping it into the area. And so in the 50s, they discovered that all these people who lived around these aluminum factories were more complacent and everything. The Nazis, of course, did a few tests with fluoride to make people more complacent, and America took half the Nazi scientists that were into that. So they already had a sub base of how to do that. And so they started reintroducing it and saying, oh, it's for the teeth. Well, a side aspect of fluoride, it does strengthen bone because it calcifies things. Like take plaque, for example. Plaque is not from the things you eat. It's from the fluoride building up on your teeth.
Awful.
And fluoride is so detrimental to your pineal glands, like it's designed specifically to attack it.
I know, and that's your third eye. That's your intuition.
The pineal gland releases DMT. The DMT soaks into your brain and it helps expand your consciousness to interact with all the energies that are around you. But
you can still open your third eye and brush.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fluoride, guys. You can do it. I did it. I'm living proof. Yeah, I love your tips. I love your advice. We got to have a show on the breath work. Big time. Yes. And until next time.
It was a pleasure.
Randy, it was such a pleasure. And we will do this again sometime.
Take
care.
Take care.
You. And happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year. May the new Lunar New Year bring you much abundance.
You as well, my friend.
Thank you.